Okay. Uh, Welcome to the Observers Podcast. If you're already here, if you're new here for the first time, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, get us to 100 subscribers. Uh, Today we have a jam-packed episode. First of all, let me introduce a new guest to the show. Okwe, welcome to the show.
Thank you, bro. It's a pleasure to be on your show, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I've listened to a couple of episodes. I love the vibe. I love the banter. So yeah, it's good to be.
Yeah. So today, let's dive into Nigeria. 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe. I'm not going to lie, that 90-minute equalizer was a big sting. It felt like, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like, I can't describe it because it was me and my roommates were watching it, and when that goal went in, everybody just went quiet, like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is such a Nigeria thing to happen. But let me hear your thoughts about the game. What do you guys think about the game generally? Do you think we should have converted our chances earlier? Do you think our defense is? I don't know what happened in that last goal, but our defense was terrible. What do you guys think about the game? Let me start with you, Okbe.
um, Disappointing result, if we're being honest, because the aim was to take as many points good from the games available to us, knowing that um we're not really in the driving seat, so we don't have a choice but to, take as many points as possible. And sadly, today, I think at the end of the day, I think South Africa won their game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
But I
2-0.
think the Republic drew. I'm not sure. And at a point in time, Rwanda were losing, but I don't know if they ended up losing or not. But I think now what most Nigerians are looking forward to is possibly South Africa being deducted 3 points. But even at that, it doesn't even seem like we're still going to take full advantage if that indeed happens. But it's mixed feelings because we actually executed the 4-3-1-2 very, very well. As compared to the first game against Rwanda, which we did win. So when you consider the factor that we played well but not winning the game, it's just down to us taking our chances. We created lots of chances. However, I have a personal problem with this setup. It just seems to be that the team keeps creating from one channel alone, which is from the left flank, and Zimbabwe already knows that, so they're already preparing to possibly defend against us coming from that angle. So we just seemed really, really predictable, in my own opinion. There really wasn't any form of dynamism in the game. And if you're playing against tougher opponents, you need that X factor. And I think we lacked that today. So, yeah, my thoughts generally about the game.
Cyril, how about you? What do you think about the game? Before we started this call, I heard
The
you talking about Eric Chill. Is that how to pronounce his name? Chill?
Eric
oh
Shell.
Chill. Yeah.
yeah,
What do you think about this game? Do you think we improved from our game with Rwanda? Like, what are
yeah,
your thoughts?
we improved so much from the last game. Honestly, I was very disappointed in the last game. I wasn't following the hype around the coach, but this game really convinced me like, okay, this guy might know what he's doing. But this game was such a disappointment. I won't lie because I felt we should have dominated this game. We should this scoreline should have been like 4-0 or something. First, let me not say the whole game. The chances from Iwobi, Lookman got like two chances in the box, but the defenders were like blocking them. Um, was like I don't know what was wrong. Like we did everything right. We created, but it just didn't work. And like he said, we're too focused on that left hand side. The right hand side was basically non-existent. It was just Moses Simon, Moses Simon, Moses Simon. Whenever Chukwueze got the ball on the right, it was like he was clueless. He just kept on doing the same thing, just cutting in and losing the ball. So it's very disappointing the goal we conceded. It felt like we were amateurs. Like how can you defend so well for 80 minutes and concede that kind of cheap goal? People will blame Ekong. Yeah, he has a blame to take, but I felt indeed he should have kept on following his man. One thing as a defensive midfielder is to you have to follow your man, especially when the run is coming from deep. This guy running from deep and he just kept on ball watching, like what's going to happen? My captain is going to stop him. No, no, he must finish the work first. And if the player manages to beat him, then fine. But he needs to complete that defensive action. And it was a disappointment he didn't. Econ didn't do any better, so we considered the goal. So disappointing. So disappointing. We needed this because it would be a shame if we don't qualify for 2 World Cups in a row.
Yeah, that late equalizer must have stung. I know it stung me.
Yeah.
Do you think Nigeria's defense needs a shake-up, or was it just like a one-off lapse? Because, like you said, we did. I'm not. I find no fault in our game today. We balled. We dominated. And kudos to Zimbabwe because they were very good defensively too. They did not give us any easy chances at all. But what do you think? Do we need to shake up our defense? I don't like seeing I know on the left. I prefer to see him on the right. I don't know why we don't use that. What's that our left back's name?
Onyemachi, Bruno Onyemachi.
Same, yeah. Like why don't we use him on the left? Why are we
Did they call
using?
him?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he
on the
was on the
bench.
bench. He was on the bench for both games. He actually came
Yeah,
on against
against
Rwanda,
Rwanda.
yeah, towards the ending of the game. And I think the only problem with Bruno is the fact that he's not really sound defensively as compared to Olaino and Bright Osai
Yeah.
Samuel. And Bright Osai Samuel offers more going forward. The only problem is that he's not a good finisher and he just seems to freeze when he finds himself in front of goal. So I think that's one thing he needs to work on. And then Ola is quite dynamic as a fullback. You know, he can cross with his left foot, he can cross with his right. You don't really know what he's going to do. So for me, I don't really mind that pairing, that fullback pairing. I think the major issue was the fact that we didn't just finish off our chances. We're not just clinical, in my own opinion. Arokodare came on and played well. I think his hold up play was very good, but I think he had two chances, those two headers that he probably should have at least converted one,
Buried.
in my own
Yeah,
opinion. Lukman created chances as well, but look, like you said, Ifemi, the Zimbabwean defense was top notch. I just think we're still at fault. At the end of the day,
Still, we
we
gave
created
it was
this
too cheap.
we should have buried our chances. We should be winning that game with more than 1-0, more
honestly,
than
I,
2-0.
I think that goal that we conceded, I think it was first of all a schoolboy error by Boniface, the way he just let the ball go, and definitely indeed playing as a holding midfielder, just like Cyril said, no, he was wrong. He should have followed his man into the box, and I think he was just too relaxed, thinking, oh, I've got a shield behind me. But even sometimes the
Yeah,
shield can be weary, and he just caught Ekong slacking, and Umabali must have felt very bad because the ball just went under him.
just
That must
just
be
on
painful
that,
for the keeper. I mean,
painful.
look at Umabali's reaction when he found out that they didn't score immediately after we scored that first goal. He
That
started
that one that
the
hit the
upper
bar.
and then
Yeah,
passing. He was so happy because he wants to keep a clean sheet. So
yeah,
when mates let you down in that nature is quite annoying. But I think this is a great lesson for them that look, you need to keep 110% concentration till the end of the game. I think we've moved away from an era in African football where it's quite easy to call a game. It's not that easy anymore. All the
it's
other
true.
African nations, the little
I'm
nations
stepping
across.
up.
I mean, take a look at the last AFCON. Cape Verde was tearing things up, getting all the way to the quarterfinal or so. So you can't, I don't think you can disrespect anybody. I think you need to give each opponent respect. I mean, on X, I'm already seeing a lot of journalists saying, oh, yesterday, because the boys were seen driving, all I know was driving within the stadium, that, oh, they didn't give Zimbabwe that respect. They didn't prepare the way they should have and whatnot. But this is what happens when you don't get a win. But
Yeah,
nevertheless,
the
I think
story changes.
yeah, I think those moments, that slight moment of lapse in concentration was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the game, I don't know, we just switched off just a bit, and that was when they got their goal. Um, but our path to qualification now, it seems trickier now. We're doing mathematics up and down. We're fourth on the table, I think. And I think we're like, South Africa are like 13 points, so they are almost gone already. But what do you think about our chances of qualifying now for the World Cup? Let me start with you, Cyril. Do you think we can even qualify for the World Cup? I think
It's
I
very
saw something on X. Sorry, our path that playoff is not even straightforward. Is the
yeah, second best.
first nine. So all 9 teams will go, and then just the top four. I are not even in that on that table at all. So what are our chances? What do you think about our chances of qualifying?
It's this loss makes it way harder. It's not impossible, but it's easier to lose hope. and put it like that. It's not
Well,
impossible.
we didn't lose the game. We drew the game.
We did. Sorry. It feels like a loss. That's my point.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how it feels. Like I don't
yeah.
feel like, oh, we drew the game. It feels like we lost it. Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like I've seen Trey. Trey is having a head loss right now on X, and like
He jinxed
it's hard
us. He
to.
jinxed us. That guy jinxed us. We should stop posting those things. And he shouldn't have played with like
That guy is the cause of our problems. Why is that guy Nigerian? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so hard because it's not like I'm trying, but I'm not really optimistic because if we won this game, I would have been confident. I'd be like, if I bring the next opponent, let them come, let's finish them off. Like morale be there, but nah, I don't have it. It's not like I'm saying it's impossible. It's just way harder now because we're not one of the second best team among the other groups. So we're so low on that table. I saw someone on that table
We're not
had
even on the
15
table.
points.
We're not on the table.
We're
We're
not on
100,
that table.
we're 110, and they're like 8.
So somebody have 15 points, guy. And
Okay, what do you
we're
think?
not getting there.
You are going to qualify for the World Cup.
honestly, I've lost hope. If I'm being honest with you,
What?
I've lost hope. My what gave me hope was the way the guys came into camp. You know, with the ginger, everybody resumed early, and it seemed to be like they were in good spirits. It seemed to be like Eric Shell and the players gelling and whatnot. And honestly, against Rwanda in the first half, we were impressive. But I felt that he should have learned from that game because but to be honest, it was obvious that they did learn because they did play better against Zimbabwe. But I think today the problem was them not just being clinical in front of goal. And I think we need to change something about that. From the next international window, I expect to see two players in this squad. If we're going to go on with a 4-3-1, so I expect to see Fisayo Dele Bashiru and Ibrahim Olawoyin. I think these are two players that can help us execute this system very well. Because for a typical 4-3-1-2, I mean, growing up, we saw the likes of Milan, AC Milan, and Chelsea, play with a diamond. And, the two players beside the lone anchor are meant to be box to box midfielders. Players that know how to run into the box and crash into the box. Players that do know how to score, but majorly technically gifted midfielders, and I think if we have both of them, we would play better. Fisayo was meant to be called up, but he was injured. But then again, he was able to play the last two games for Lazio. So I wonder maybe he said to the coach that maybe I need the break to get back to fitness, maybe. But Ibrahim Olawoyin was not even considered. He wasn't even in the provisional list. So I think if Eric Shaw really wants to thrive in this system of football, I think he needs to get the right players that will help him to execute it. Simon and Chukwueze did well to an extent because they also
Simon did
offer,
well. Not
yeah, they offer that wing play whenever the middle is choked. But I think if you want to play 4-3-1, to get the right players that executes this for you, so that we can create more chances and score more goals.
If you were if you were our coach, how would you set up this team?
For me, it has to be a 4-2-3-1 at this point in time. It has to be a 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot. Indeed, for me, is a box to box midfielder. He's not even a holding midfielder because we saw him struggle a couple of times. And the main anchor that we should be building this team around for me is Rafael Onyedika. I don't think there's any Nigerian midfielder out there that probably has a better passing accuracy than him, his ball recoveries, the energy that he puts into the game. For me, a double pivot of him and Ndidi will be very good because he will then give Ndidi the license to run into the box. But honestly, depending on the type of game that we are facing, it's either I start Ndidi with Onyedika or Fisayo Dele Bashiru next to him, have Iwobi play as a number 10, and then have Lukman and Moses Simon. Let Chukwueze be on the bench. He sometimes brings that X factor for us. I mean, he will be deadly against a weary defense, but starting decisive games for me, I would never start, Samuel Chukwueze. And obviously, we have Osimhen leading the line. I think that's the best way to set up the team and to get the best out of these players because of the short timing. Because if I think about it in another way, when we consider the amount of strikers we have, you will think to yourself, probably we should be playing with maybe a 4-4-2 or I don't know, a 3-4-1-2 as the case may be. But there isn't enough time to implement a philosophy whereby you can easily incorporate two strikers. We saw the difference when Arokodare came on, but then again, we also know the impact and the relevance of Lookman when he's playing alongside Osimhen. I think between both of them, they've combined for 5 goals for the Super Eagles. So there's obviously a good partnership going on there. But for me, the major thing for that Super Eagles team to be balanced is having a double pivot in midfield.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that in our last video actually that we need a double pivot because I don't trust in these legs anymore. In the of before when Leicester was still Leicester, I can't trust him as a lone six. I can't trust him like that anymore. I need a solid partner with him. Siri, what do you think about our new coach, Eric Chell? Do you think
Yeah, I think
I
he knows
thought
what he's doing.
okay, continue,
Yeah,
God.
mainly because I like this. This was the first time I felt like, oh yeah, we played with actual. There were patterns. There were like sometimes when they overload the right side, Ekong was playing those switches to Moses Simon to isolate the fullback, and it was working even if we were depending on it. But it seemed like okay, there was a plan, and they were insisting with it. And when we saw we were struggling for goals, he has Boniface. He has, I think, what's his name? Sadikoma is on the bench here. He's around. He has those guys, and he's stuck with getting the gang striker. Forgive me, I forgot his name again.
Tolu Alashan.
Tolu, yeah, I was just so to do. He insisted on bringing him on, and he kind of changed the game for us. Just that he could have scored two, but he kind of changed the game. Only the way the goal came for us, they sent the long ball to him, hold up play, he killed it, linked it back with
I
was it
think
Lukman or Simon, and Olaina crossed it. Like for me, for him picking him over Boniface, that means he knows what he's doing. He's not obviously going for names; he's going for profiles of the game situation, what he needs more. So yeah, he's a good coach. I think we should insist on him. Just believe. But this World Cup qualification is out
that
of
sounds
it.
us now. Just believe.
Just believe.
Well, yeah,
I,
disappointing result for Nigeria today. I can't lie. It felt like a loss. He kept on saying loss
yeah,
today,
we
and
lost. Yeah, because it's
it
a
felt like
loss.
a loss. And yeah,
To be honest, when you think
it
about
did.
what's at stake, it's a huge loss for us. Huge, huge
It
loss.
is. Speaking of Osimhen, he's back the last three goals that the Super Eagles have managed to score. How crucial is he for the Super Eagles? Do you feel like he's being supported by his teammates? I
I
know we
mean,
mentioned this one as
when
well.
you take a look
Yeah,
at today's results, it feels like he wasn't supported. You know, he did his job. He did the best he could. Um, he went out wide. He was pressing. He scored the goal. What else do you want him to do? The game against Rwanda, like you said, he scored the 2 goals. I think his teammates let him down today, but he's so important for us. Such an important player for us. I think now he has 26 goals for the Super Eagles.
yeah,
He's the
number two.
second all-time goal scorer behind Rashid Yekini. So I think now Victor has to score 11 more goals to catch up with him. I think Yekini scored 37, and even for Victor to even overtake, the mathematician Shegun Odegbami, I think that was huge. That was a huge one, and then he did that. He equaled it. He broke the record, and now he's pushing on. So he's someone who's going to be critical for us. Without any sentiment, I honestly do think that Victor Osimhen is a world class striker because he has all the abilities: left foot finish, right foot finish, header, hold up play, link up play, running through the channels. What else do you want from him? He will
Complete,
press for you for
complete,
90 minutes.
complete. I
He's,
genuinely think he's the best Super Eagles striker we've ever had. I'm not even kidding.
yes, ability wise,
Yeah,
he's absolutely up there. Super, super talented
Agree.
player. I just feel like he needs to know how to maybe manage his emotions during the game. I think he needs to also, the older he gets now, I think he needs to make better decisions, knowing when and when not to press. I think there are certain situations in games where he probably doesn't need to overstretch himself because he was clearly exhausted, before he was taking off. He was tired. I read his lips. He said, look, I'm tired, and he had to go off. So, depending on the situation of games, we will need him in crucial moments because just look at the way Zimbabwe equalized 9 minutes, if he was still on the pitch, who knows, maybe something could have happened. So he's a very important player for us, no doubt.
Do you think Osimhen needs to win something for Nigeria for him to cement his legacy? Because all these things that you mentioned, they have at least a medal for us. Does Osimhen need to win something for Nigeria for him to be considered the all-time great for us? So what do you think?
It's the same way we judge international players. I'm a big culprit for it. He must win something. He must win something. I'm not going to be biased about Osimhen. He has to win something. You can't say did Rashidi win? He won AFCON, did he?
Yeah, Rashidi won.
Yeah, he won
And
AFCON.
at Olympics, Atlanta.
Olympics. He has to win something. You can't because he's scoring more goals. You can't say he's better than. Because eventually it's going to happen. Osimhen is going to be the top scorer, unless let's say he miraculously forgets how to play football. He's going to be the top scorer ever to play for this country, but he has to win something. And I won't lie, it's not like he's not putting his effort. The effort is there. Like this guy leaves everything on the pitch. He's one player I know that, bro. At the end of the match, he's gassed because he has lost. He's gassed because he has lost. He has put everything, his body, his blood, his sweat on the pitch. So he deserves the trophy, and I feel he'll get it one day, maybe next AFCON, inshallah.
Okay, I have a surprise for you guys. And that trivia is real.
Ah.
Okay, so
Is it Nigeria related? I feel.
Okay, let me tell you how it's going to go. So, last time we did highest goal scorers in Super Eagles history. This time around, I want you to name the top 10 players with the most caps for the Super Eagles.
Top 10 players with caps.
With the most caps.
I don't need to mention them accordingly, right?
Yeah. You just have to guess.
Whoa,
You just have to keep guessing.
Where you start, when you say one, I'll tell you if it's correct or wrong.
Okay.
So you will say another one like that.
Okay.
So
who
This will
starts?
be easier than the goals.
Where you start?
Alex Iwobi.
Correct. Number 7, 83 caps.
Miko Obi.
Yes. Mikel Obi is number 4, 91 caps.
Joseph Yobo.
Number 3, 101 caps.
Ahmed Musa.
Number 1, 109 caps.
Vincent Eyema.
Number 2, 101
Oh, that's such a good guess. It's not a good guess, but that's such a good shout. I'm going to go with Rashidi.
Nah, he doesn't make the list.
Bruh, that's mad.
Kalu Uche.
No.
No.
I feel like
There's an Uche on the list.
What?
Is there anybody whose name is Uche on the list?
No, there's no Uche.
No, okay.
You guys are thinking too much. You know these guys.
Okay, JJ.
Sekong.
JJ is there, number 9. 14.
Okay.
Sekong is there, number 8.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, Ekong is there. I felt like he started playing for us like 5 years ago or 6.
Ekong has been there since 2016.
6, okay. Well, it feels like yesterday.
2015 actually.
2015, yeah.
So what's the meaning? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You need 5, you need 6, you need 10.
I want to call somebody, but because of that last time, you disappointed me. Kanu,
yes. Number 5. It's goals. Who? Did you mention anybody up there? No. Should I give you a hint? Should I give you a hint?
Yes.
Yeah.
One person is an active player.
Yeah, Nacho.
Nah.
Did the person
play today? Yes.
Simon.
Yes, number 10. One more, number 6. You guys are not going to get this one. I don't even care. You're not going to get it. I don't know who this is.
What's up with the guy that used to have Taribo West?
Nah, trust me. Let me give you a hint. This person last played for us in 1985.
Nah.
His name is Mudashiru Lawal.
Oh, Muda Lawal.
Yeah, Muda Lawal. 86 caps. But yeah. I think that's all for us today. Very disappointing results today. Honestly speaking, I didn't want us to do this recording. That's how disappointed I was, honestly. But thank you guys so much for always supporting us. We're almost at 100 subscribers. If you liked what you see, or if you liked what you saw, rather, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hope we're going to have you again and again and again.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Cyril. I don't care about you. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next time.
Say, bro.